Hey Kyle, how did the three IR guys who opened their window this week? How did they make it through, and what are your expectations for them for Sunday?
I know all three of them have a chance. I'd say K1 and Tevin more than Jordan. Today was just walk through though, and I haven't got a chance to talk to the trainers. I'll talk to them more today, but hopefully there's no setbacks and we'll get at least two of them up. But I never know until I talk to the trainers. So we have till I think 1 tomorrow.
You had mentioned the game planning that you and your staff do when the players are gone early in the week. Are you have you thought about a scenario potentially where you might be losing any of those guys and what that process might be like for you?
Um, the guys that we plan on playing. Sorry, you're
Sorry,
muted.
the assistant coaches, like losing those guys in the future. Given, I mean, they're probably going to be candidates for some
I
jobs.
gotcha. Yeah, you think about it all the time. That's why you're always trying to train people, and I mean, it's so you can't speak of enough about one having talented people, but just the time and the experience of working with people. I mean, you can't make that up in 1 year. So you're always trying to get guys with you and train them the best way, and you want to hold on to them as long as possible. But we got a number of really good coaches, and I understand you can't do that forever.
Kyle, this is going back to last season, to the last game in Seattle. On that final play, can you remember what was going through your head at that moment?
Um, Probably not much. In terms of it was very clear. You're just completely locked in and just watching the moment and sitting there wishing you could do something about it and just sitting there just watching your guys. And I mean, it's just completely silent. At least that's how it feels to me. I feel like you can't hear anything, and then all of a sudden everyone just erupts on our sidelines. And I've I've been burned before where I erupt and then it ends up being overturned or something like that. So even though I watched our guys run all the way the other way and everyone was celebrating, it took me about 5 minutes before I fully accepted it. It wasn't until we fully had the ball and could finish, or until we were actually on the field, that I knew that we had won. But it was a cool moment.
Hey, Kyle, speaking of everyone running the other way into the end zone, John Lynch sprinted there into the end zone and was wildly celebrating. Did you catch that either in the moment or on tape? And have you discussed that with him?
Oh yeah, I didn't catch in the moment, but it was one of the most fun things the next day, making fun of him and showing to the team and pointing it out. And he's usually Captain America, but every once in a while, Red 47 comes out, and you see that moment in games where he gets excited at the end, and him, McGlinchey, Kittle, and Lakin are all the most violent celebrators, and it's a matter of time before one of those guys injure me. So I try to stay away when they're excited.
Hey, Kyle, how do you assess the fatigue level of your team after completing the second cross-country trip of the season before the bye week?
I mean, it definitely affects you. I mean, you can feel it during the week. I used to not know what people were talking about, and now I think I just notice it a lot more. I notice it myself even, and then you start to ask some of the other coaches, and you see it in guys. But you recover as the week goes. At least you feel better, and you get more used to it. It's right now you don't have time to think about it. I keep telling our guys, I mean, we got 2 games here in 6 days, which is a lot, and but everyone's got to go through that. But I plan on us not having anything left after 6 days from now, and I try to tell them that that's all right, because after our 2 games in 6 days, and I believe we have 1 game in 24 days, so you're going to go from one extreme to the other, and both can sometimes be a negative, but both sometimes can be a positive. Just depends how you react to it, and I think our guys have been through about everything, so I expect us to react well.
Kyle, throughout this season, you guys have had, a pretty full injury report, and I'm sure you don't mind having the opposition guess along and try to figure out who's playing and who's not. How do you handle it on the other side when you see the Seahawks and you kind of monitor who's practicing and who's not? And I mean, they have 2 running backs questionable, 1 doubtful. Jamal Adams is questionable. How do you approach that during the course of the week, preparing for somebody who may or may not be available for a game?
I mean, if it affects your game plan, then you always prepare that they're going to play, and that's pretty much what I do with anyone who will change how we call a game or what we put in. So you always assume they're going to play. You never get surprised by that, and you just wait till kickoff, and if they're not, then I'm definitely not upset about it. And it's a lot easier to react. But when you count on someone not playing and then they do, I mean, that's something that I just try to never let happen to us. You always assume people are playing, and it's just like some guys go down on the first play of a game. It doesn't change much when someone leaves, as long as you're prepared for them to be out there.
You mentioned the Thursday game that's coming up. When that's the case, do you, look at snap counts? Do you make decisions on who comes off of IR, knowing that you've got a game coming up right away, or is it sort of unwise or dangerous to sort of look ahead that far when it comes to the immediate game, the Sunday game?
I think it's pretty dangerous to do that, but I mean, if there's something that makes sense and you can control something, then you definitely do. I mean, it's tough to play those two games, but I don't think about that during the game. I mean, I'm not counting people's reps because of it or anything like that. But if you ever have a situation where they're like, "Hey, we think maybe this guy could really, might be a little bit sooner than ahead of schedule, but he could tough this game out and probably get through it, but there's no way he could play Thursday then." then usually you don't play them, and then you wait to Thursday. Where on a full week, if they're like that, it's usually if you can go, you can play the next game because it's 7 days away. But if you can go in this but not play 4 days away, then I think a little differently. Then if they're not healthy enough to play in this game, or to be recovering 4 days, then they shouldn't be going in this game.
Kyle, I have a question for you, not necessarily a football question, but has to do with your staff. Not sure if you saw, but Wes Welker posted a video of his son eating candy that was, I guess, provided by you and your family. One, did you see the video? Two, how did this all come about? And also, could you just detail that relationship between you and the rest of your coaching staff?
Well, I have seen the video because Wes and my wife both sent it to me. And it was really funny. I wish I could take credit for it. Bobby Turner thanked me today for the whatever we gave them, and I had no idea what he was talking about. That was my wife who did that, so I'm not even sure what they got, but she gave all them something. I wish I could have taken credit for it, but then she and Wes showed me that their son wished it was from Debo and not me and my wife, so which I totally understand. I would feel the same, so it was pretty funny.
Kyle, looking ahead again towards that Thursday, how do you plan and prepare for yourself and the way you're scheduled throughout this next few days?
For me, I don't do anything. I mean, I'm all about Sunday in Seattle, and I just fully accept that Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and up to kickoff on Thursday are going to be a grind. And that's something that you just get used to. Playing Thursday night games, that's usually probably the most times that coaches sleep in the office and stuff like that. But I love it personally just because you don't get days off in the league unless you have a bye week. Always I don't mind toughing out any days knowing that you get a few days off, which I think really needed for our team right now, players and coaches, and just everyone just to rest a little bit. So I'm looking forward to a tough Monday through Thursday. You always hope that it finishes well, and then you enjoy a few days off. That's nice to sit around and watch everyone else for a little bit. But a lot of the other coaches, they got to get stuff prepared, so we're ready to put that grind in on Monday right away. So a lot of other coaches got to stay around a little bit later today, do some stuff at the hotel tomorrow where all the cut-ups and their projects and all the stuff that they get for us are ready to go right away Monday morning.
Kyle, important follow-up question. Red 47, is that an official nickname? Where did that come from? I know the jersey number, obviously, but where did that originate?
I'm not sure where it originated, but it's. I mean, everyone's seen John Lynch play football, and that's Red 47, and everyone's seen how he acts and how he carries himself, and that's Captain America. And you see those two personalities clash sometimes, but usually it's hard to get him to Red 47. Usually you see it on the football field, and you can random see it when he gets a little worked up with football stuff. So it's in there. We know that.
Hey, Kyle, how's Kevin White progressed in his 3 months on the roster?
Kevin's done a real good job. It's been great to get him up twice, which we could do that more. But he's a guy that, if ever need be, won't hesitate to bring him up full time. He's working to learn this stuff, which he got a late start on. He's done real well. Everyone knows the ability he has, and the way he's carried himself fits in really well here. And we really enjoying the person and the athlete.
Hey, Kyle, I could sneak in two questions. One, I just would, in regard, your facility won't have to
Sorry, you
be
gotta start over.
closed on election day.
You gotta
I'm
start over.
guessing
You
just
got
because.
muted. Start over. You were muted.
Okay. Okay.
I heard
If
election
I
day,
could
so maybe we should
stick in
mute
two
you.
questions.
Go ahead, man. You're good.
Okay. Hopefully you can hear me. All right. So I'm going to assume your facility does not have to be closed on election day because you have the Thursday game. And then also just wanted to ask you what your thoughts were on DK Metcalf, just your kind of scouting report when he was coming out in the draft.
Yes, I hope it's not closed on Tuesday just because we have a Thursday night game, and that would make it very tough. So I have not asked that yet, but I'm assuming that ours and Green Bay's are the ones that are allowed to be open. And what was it with DK? What is the scouting report?
Yeah, just what were your thoughts on him? I know, everyone thought he was a physical freak. Maybe there's some questions like
coming out?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you could see you could see how big he was, how he ran, had the ability to do everything. In his offense a little bit, they didn't, he's kind of stayed at one spot. He didn't get to do as much routes as he's doing now, so you couldn't see all of that. And he had some bad luck with some injuries, which, I think made some people worried. But everyone sees now. He's as good as there gets right now, and he's been healthy, plays hard, and he's got a big future. Wish he wasn't in our division.
Kyle, Jimmy Ward is your starting free safety, but on third down, it seems like he kind of does anything but play single high free safety. How does his versatility help your defense, particularly on third down?
Anytime you have a safety who's extremely good in the middle of the field, an extremely good tackler, he could blitz, and I think he's been one of our best cover guys, whether on a tight end, a receiver, or a back, that since I've been here. So when you can do that, you can just use him a lot of different ways. Gives our defense a lot of different decisions on how matchups and man-to-man and different places to put him because of the physicality he plays with. And it's always really good to have Jimmy out there throughout the game, but especially third down.
Is Contavious dealing with an illness? And if the answer is yes, what does that mean for his availability on Sunday? Does he have to pass a number of tests before he can be cleared?
Yeah, he's got to pass one more test tomorrow, and then he'll be cleared. So hopefully we'll get him out there. I don't know if it's going to work out to fly with the team or anything like that. So we'll have to figure it out. I don't know when the test gets back. I'm sure it'll get back after we've already left. But if he has no symptoms tomorrow and he passes his second test, then he'll be allowed to play on Sunday. I think he has one more.
Yeah. Well, would he have to fly, by himself in that scenario?
I think it's too far to drive, so I don't think he could get there. And I don't know the exact rules of it. I just know he can't fly with us till we get the test results back. So I'm sure he can fly with someone, but I'm sure we'd have to give him a plane or something like that. All right, guys. Thanks.
Hey, faithful, subscribe to our YouTube channel.